Welcome to another video tutorial on Neutron Drive. In this tutorial we're going to go over Neutron Beam. So what is Neutron Beam? Neutron Beam is a way to connect Neutron Drive to a private server where you can store code and then also run it. This is really cool because it lets you host your development environment out in the cloud, but then be able to edit files and run files wherever you are and on whatever computer you're at. So let's get started here. We're going to go to our gear button and click Neutron Beam servers, and if you click this link we'll get some directions on how to set it up. So there's a few things you'll need before you can do this, but they're pretty standard. You'll need to make sure you have OpenSSL, and you're also going to make sure you have Python. So this works really well with Linux, just about any Linux distribution you can think of, but for right now we're going to go ahead and do this on the Mac. So let's go ahead and log into administrator. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is just copy and paste this line. This is going to install the Python packager, and this should only take a second. And OpenSSL is actually already installed on the Mac, so we don't have to worry about that. So now that we have the Python packager installed, we can go ahead and install Neutron Beam. This is going to take care of our Python dependencies and put everything on we need. Alright, so now most likely don't want to run Neutron Beam as root, so let's exit out of the administrator account and start Neutron Beam as the user which owns all the code on this machine. So now the first time you start it, it's going to ask for your email address, which you want to enter the same email address that you signed up for Neutron Drive for. It's also going to ask you for a directory of where do you store your code. You can see I put all my code in this directory. So let's go ahead and paste that in there. Alright, now once it starts, you can see it's going to tell us the port. It's going to give us the API key to generate it. This is all information we need to stick into Neutron Drive. Alright, so I mapped this Mac out to this external address, and then I'm going to put the API key in there. And you have a couple methods that you can use. So if you use the Proxy Method, this actually sends all the communications through Neutron Drive servers, and this will all be encrypted through SSL to the Neutron Drive server, and then from there to your Neutron Beam server it's also encrypted, but in a different manner. You can also do this directly, but if you do it directly you may get warning messages because it's not going through SSL for that first hop. So we're just going to do proxy. We're going to save it, and you can see now on our file browser we have Neutron Mac.Neutron Drive showing up. Click on that and we can see now we have files, and let's go ahead and open a file up, and you can see we're now browsing the code on this Mac through Neutron Drive. Now you may have some problems with getting through your network if you have like a firewall or different things like that set up. Maybe this is on a home network, which actually this Mac is. So you have a couple different options. So if you go into your home directory, go to .config Neutron Beam, there's a file in here called config.json, which you can go ahead and edit. So if you ever need to change your directory or change the port, you can go ahead and do that. Another good debugging tool is, instead of starting Neutron Drive in the background, which is the default option, is you can go ahead and start it in the foreground with a -F. So anytime we make a request, it should show up in our logs. And so that's a good way to see if the request is even getting through your firewall or through your network setup. If you want to research any more options, just do nbeam --help, and you'll get all the different options that you can use with Neutron Beam. And just some of the basic commands are Neutron Beam start, that starts the daemon, and Neutron Beam restart if you ever need to restart it, and then obviously Neutron Beam stop. And that is an overview of Neutron Beam. Thanks for watching.
No, no.